The second weekend of the big league season this centenary year, Castleford take on Leeds here at Weldon Road. And plenty of Leeds followers have made the short journey up the M62 to be here tonight. Leeds coming into this match after beating Sheffield by 7 tries to 1. Impressive on a ground where last season their title hopes finally disappeared. Castleford are here in numbers, of course, too, but James Lowe's Leeds, Tony Kemp and company on to the Weldon Road field. A field that has been very, very kind to them recently. They have won on each of their last 5 visits. And there's the man of the moment, Tony Kemp. 2 seasons here at Castleford, 27 tries, 63 games for the Tigers. A try in the Charity Shield. And out comes Lee Crooks with the Castleford team. Crooks, of course, one of several players with points to prove every time they take on Leeds, being a former Leeds member. But Simon Middleton's try last week really was an absolute peach. You may have seen the effort on boots and all earlier this week. He really did pin his ears back, touched the ball down, and he won the points against Oldham. At one stage, Castleford were down to 11 men with Colin Maskill and Lee Crooks in the sin bin. So it was a great effort from John Joyner's men. Talking of John Joyner's men, here's the side. Jason Flowers is the fullback. Chris Smith, Tony Marchant, Jamie Coventry, Simon Middleton, Tony Smith at 6 and Gareth Stevens at 7. Crooks is the captain. Maskill, Sykes, Harland, Hill and Smales. And just to recap on the bench, Darley, Palmer, Eden and Price. The coach, of course, is John Joyner. We welcome back to the big league Gary Schofield on the bench tonight, making his way back after summer fitness problems, and of course he was sent off towards the back end of last season, first time in his career. This is the starting lineup: Tate, the fullback, Fallon, Iro, Innes and Cummins, Kemp and David Gibbons. And up front, Harmon, James Lowe's captain in Schofield's absence, Fozzard, Mercer, Mann and Forshaw. Again, to recap on the bench, Cook, Morley, Faimilo, Schofield, and the coach Hugh McGann. Dean Bell, the player coach for Leeds, has a big date for Auckland Warriors over the weekend. If they lose, he'll be on his way home. They're playing Brisbane. Stuart Cummings is tonight's referee, the man who blew the very first whistle of the big league season up at Workington just 7 days ago. Here he is in front of the Sky Sports cameras again tonight. Pitch looking in fine condition despite the drought that this country has suffered during the summer. And Jim Fallon had a wonderful season for Leeds last season. 24 tries in 39 appearances. Tony Marchant making his return for Castleford. So the Stone Villa Centenary Championship second weekend gets underway. It's Castleford against Leeds here on Sky Sports, and that was a welcoming challenge from Mike Forshaw on his opposite number, Ian Smales, to get this game underway. That, Steve-O, will set the tone.
Will it ever? That was a beautiful tackle, and Forshaw is in again. Well, the contact was on the shoulder. The arm went up later. You could see that Stuart Cummins was having a really good look at that one, but he gave him the benefit of the doubt. We expected it to be tough. Derby games always are. Oh!
Gareth Stevens disappears under the challenge. George Mann was first man in, and Neil Harmon was there as well. Tony Smith covers the ball along the ground, and Francis Cummins, hat-trick last weekend against Sheffield, he picks up, clattered by Gareth Stevens. Quite a few of these Castleford players out to impress tonight. Leeds, of course, let them go. 3 of them in there in the tackling: Maskill, Crooks and Gareth Stevens. Lee Harlan's the other.
Well, it's an understatement to say that Castleford don't like the Leeds area. And it looks like a lost ball there from Mercer. Never really got control of it. Good tackle down low by Andy Hill. Smales came in over the top. A pretty cruncher. We've seen a few in the first opening seconds.
Tony Smith. And then he fades. The fullback Jason Flowers has chimed in. Tony Marchant's the dummy half. Taking the tackle from Innes. Fozzard in there also. Just outside the 20-metre mark. Castleford now with Maskill. And here is the prop forward Nathan Sykes. Picking himself up, Maskell again, looking for Crooks. Still one of the great ball-handling forwards in the British game, Lee Crooks. Despite the fact that he's now 31 years young. Stevens, there's men out wide for Castleford. Smith gets it out there. Good hands. The winger, Middleton, is in. Now he's got a foot in touch. Foot in touch, and Middleton and Castleford denied a dream start.
He went low. Fallon had to get the strength to him. You could see clearly that the foot had gone over. Good work from Fallon, but really excellent attempt by Middleton.
He lost control of the football as he tried to put it down anyway.
He knew he had to reach over. Didn't have much control about it.
Here's young Nick Fozzard, 18 years old. It's only his second full game, the Leeds prop forward. Lows to Mike Forshaw. Lovely run from Forshaw. Great support from Innes. Cummins is out wide. Oh, Innes tripped. Tackle's not completed. He can carry on. Ton of support. Lows. Tate. Flowers. Good tackle. And he forced the pass from Tate. And Tony Smith has it.
Just lost control there. Alan Tate lost the marbles. Should have kept himself pretty cool. Leeds offside. They never made any attempt to get back onto the 10. Pretty excitable stuff out there. A beautiful ball out wide. There you can see them. Half a dozen, including Kemp. But Forshaw, beautiful half break. And Craig Innes, he slipped at the last moment. He wasn't held. Good refereeing by Cummins to play on. And then Tate just lost his cool. That really should not have been sent out. You could see that James Lowes was stood still.
Big collision between Fozzard and Nathan Sykes, and Fozzard in with a short right hook. The touch judges spotted him. Watch this.
Well, he crunched him first time. I can't understand the youngster Fozzard going in for the second effort. And then he throws the knee in as well, just for a little bit of an extra measure. Well, he's a talented youngster, is this Nick Fozzard. Tough customer. There you saw, he got him once, then he swings, and then he goes down, he puts a knee across. Tough game. You can do without that, though. He's a very lucky boy.
Tough game, tough start for these two sides. We promised you fireworks, we've had plenty. 4 minutes gone, Castleford rolling forward with the Crooks. That's what he does so well. Turns in the tackle, releases the pass, and there's Nathan Sykes disappearing under the challenge of those three.
Interested in seeing, Eddie, that Lee Crooks has made 2 runs. They normally have Tony Smith skirting on the inside. As yet, we haven't seen that combination.
There's Ian Smales. He'll be delighted to be back in the big league. First appearance in 8 months last Sunday, and he's lost his shorts. Tony Smith. Good tackling by Cummins. Quick play the ball from Castleford. They want to get on with this. Oh, and Gareth Stevens ducked under the challenge from Forshaw.
Good job he did as well. It was pretty high from the loose forward.
This is the last tackle. Little chip over the top from Crooks. And Cummins collects that ball, spills it back to Tate, and Tate is bundled over the dead ball line, and Leeds must drop out from underneath their own sticks.
Well, Tate looked there. It's as if to say that should have been. Cummins lost control of it. He didn't light it out. But that's a high tackle from Forshaw. I thought that Stuart Cummins had seen it. He played the advantage, I feel.
I think maybe Gareth Stevens just ducked into that challenge slightly. Here's Jason Flowers now for Castleford.
Good job he did.
Opening. Here's Crooks again. Loves playing Leeds. Loves the physical contact. Picks himself up, plays it to Maskell. He finds Stevens. Stevens in turn finds Harland, who breaks through. Support is there from Maskell, and Maskell against his former club gets the try. Well, that's the old Leeds combination there that set that up. Crooks, Stevens, and Maskell and Harland. The Leeds old boys.
Wonderful play. You can see Leeds were hanging back. Castleford had been getting over that advantage line. Beautiful pass there, and Harland, and then Maskell finishes it off. Good play, good support play by the hooker. Stevens on the inside, through the dummy. Innes and George Mann stood out, but what a great break from Lee Harland. And what a hooker should do all the time. Colin Maskell is an experienced player. Tremendous stuff. It was not a straight line of defence. You can see 3 men won. One went one in front. That was enough to get the angle, and Maskell had the strength. What a great start.
Maskell, who joined from Doncaster. Richard Russell's out for much of this centenary season. And Colin Maskell, the former Leeds hooker, now here at Castleford, has really started to grab his opportunity with both hands. Back in the big time. This fella's never been anywhere else other than the big time. Lee Crooks. Ball's just fallen over on the sand. Referee Stuart Cummins just holds the clock up as Crooks resets himself. Over 100 goals in each of the past 4 seasons. 440 First Division games for Hull, Leeds and Castleford. Lee Crooks, one of the biggest in the big league. Chance here to turn this 4 into 6. Not a bad angle for him. He's a normally meat and drink to a man like Lee Crooks. Let's see how he does here. Well, I've hexed him. Called it wide of the upright. 4-0 Castleford.
3 leads in defence there. You can see one has just held off, and that split second is enough for the second row to go through there. Great support play, and the experienced Maskell will enjoy that, and rightly so.
Yes, he knows it should really be 6-0 now, though, but as it is, it's just a try from Maskell that separates these two sides. Castleford, though, with the perfect start, but a very difficult task against their neighbours. Their last home win against Leeds, 16-14 in February 1991. Fallon and Iro forcing Ian Smales back to within 10 metres of his line. And working hard again at the marker position, those two.
Much better defence there from Leeds. You could see how they moved out quickly out wide, forcing the players down the middle. It works very, very effectively if you move in one straight line. If you fail to move in a line, you can get caught.
Lovely ball from Crooks looking for Tony Smith and clobbered by Innes. Great tackle, that's the last one. Crooks has to kick downfield. It bounces once into the arms of Tate. Castleford have moved forward in a line. Tate saw a little gap and went for it. And it was the second rower there, Lee Harland, who closed him down with a bit of help from Andy Hill.
He wouldn't be happy with that, Lee Crooks. It was not the best kick. All the time in the world for Alan Tate to take that and bring it back about 25 metres.
George Mann, he has Forshaw with him. And Forshaw spins as he's tackled, but decides to hang on to the football rather than slip it out wide. Mann then gives it to Tony Kemp, and Leeds have lost it. The pass to Fozzard, and Fozzard dropped it.
Good impact though, wasn't it? Crooks coming in over the top. There's some real bone crunchers there. He felt it, did the youngster Fozzard. They're taking no prisoners.
That's Marchant, and he gets the ball out wide to Middleton. A good job that Fallon completed an excellent tackle. Stevens again. Castleford starting very brightly, very promisingly, and Fallon hurt.
I think he got a bad knock on the arm there while he was trying to tackle Middleton. Oh, he's away!
Lovely burst of speed. He's turning Tate one way and the other, and Middleton with the try. Tremendous try. Middleton began the season with an absolute corker last week, and look what he's come up with here tonight. His second of the season, his second in successive matches, and Cass are on fire.
Well, you make your own luck. Middleton started this. This is where Fallon gets injured. Crunches the arm underneath there. Writhes in agony. But what a great pass there from Maskell. He knew that Fallon was down injured. That meant that Leeds were down at 12, and look at the skill there. Simon Middleton. He's an old stager, is Colin Maskell, but he knew that Iro was there all on his own. They had the overlap. Fallon was off the field, gaining attention. And look at the delight on that man's face.
Well, he scooted down the touchline last week to pull the fat out of the fire for Castleford against Oldham. And he's really given them the dream start here. They lead by 8 points to 0. Simon Middleton 60-yard effort won the game against Oldham. He never lets them down. Full-back, wing or centre, Simon Middleton can play. But he's got some pace under the bonnet this season already. There's a fair wind blowing around Weldon Road tonight, and I think Crooks is having just a little bit of a problem in setting the ball for these place kicks on the top of that little mound of sand, and indeed so. Colin Maskell's been called to just put the finger on the top of the ball. Of course, our studio guest tonight, Bobby Goulding, he now uses a little plastic tee, and perhaps that is the way forward. But goal kickers, of course, they have their own habits, they have their own superstitions, and Crooks, at the moment, he prefers the sand. Always difficult when a man lies on the ground to hold the ball in position. Let's see what Crooks can do with this. I tell you what, he might have Colin Maskell holding the ball every time tonight after that. 10 points to 0.
It's all about using your brains, and Colin Maskell did there. You can see on the cross, you've got Fallon out of the field, and look at those two players. Iro was caught short. That is lazy defence from Leeds, and they paid the price. Wonderful finishing. He's one of the best in the league. He got them out of trouble against Oldham last weekend.
And he's given them a great start here. Leeds trailing 10-0. Our touchline guest with Bill Arthur is Leeds star Graham Holroyd. Let's see what he thinks about all this.
Graham, two superb pieces of finishing from Castleford.
Yeah, I think Leeds, what they've got to do is complete a set of 6 at the moment. I think we're giving too much possession away, and I think it was good play by Lee Allen, and then Colin Maskell, the next liner. You know, he finished it, and a good tackle by Jim Fallon, which let him go out of the game, and a good ball by Tony Marchant to enable Simon Middleton to score. I think Simon's looking up to have got an England call-up. I think he's one of the underrated players. He's got so much pace, and he showed that he's got good evasive skills as well.
Leeds warming up their substitutes at the moment. Do you think we might see a change?
I think it's a bit earlier. I think after 20-25 minutes in, that's where you might see a few changes. But I think at the moment they've come from Leeds. It's been quite a bad journey, and I think they're just going to get wound into the game. So I think next 25 minutes, that'll see if we get a change or not.
Quick penalty for Leeds, and Tony Kemp has come up with a try against his former club. Castleford were caught offside. Lee Crooks, originally in the centre of the field, spilled possession, and Leeds attacked, and then Cass caught offside at a quick play of the ball. They don't come much quicker at the play of the ball than Kemp, and he showed in the Charity Shield in Dublin, and he's over for the first 4 points tonight for Leeds.
An exact replica of what he did at Dublin. He knew that they were all offside. They were not allowed to touch him. It was quick thinking again from Tony Kemp. Nice step on the inside. They did the right thing, but they were very slow to get back. There you can see Lee Crooks looking at the referee. They cannot turn your back to the opposition, and Kemp, quick thinking, fully deserved the 4 points there. He's a hard man to bring down, but this is schoolboy stuff, I'm afraid, from Castleford. Look at that. 2 players not even looking at the football, and the only problem is that Tony Kemp does not release the ball and play it properly. Now, he did that at Dublin, but he's got away with it.
Here's the conversion attempt from Cummins. He kicks the extras, and Leeds are very much back in the hunt here now. Castleford 10, Leeds 6. The quick thinking again of Tony Kemp. That's why Leeds paid the money.
Now, let's see if does he release it. I don't think he doesn't even play it with his foot. I think he just goes off. Here we go. No, he never touches it.
From the kickoff, Mick Forshaw has knocked the ball on underneath his own sticks.
Well, talk about lack of concentration. Crooks made the bag mistake that allowed Leeds to get into it. And of course, Leeds made 2 silly mistakes that allowed Castleford possession to post their 2 tries. And right from the kickoff, he knows a few words will be said to him at half-time by the coach, Hugh McGann, no doubt.
Try scorer Kemp drops it out from underneath his own posts. Picked up by Tony Marchant on that far side. And he is scratched to the floor, first by Iro.
Well, this is where the experience of Lee Crooks should just slow things down now. They've conceded a try. after racing to a 10-0 lead. This is where the experience takes on. Use the forwards. Wouldn't surprise me if they go for a one-pointer.
Maskill turns the ball back to Stevens, who's looked busy. This is Crooks. Good hands. Marchant skipping through. Marchant just hauled back by the shorts by Iro. Crooks is there, and Crooks from dummy half on his own. The tackle is completed with Crooks standing up. Now they'll spread it wide. This is Tony Smith. They've got men out wide here, but that's a great take by Francis Cummins. He saved a certain try then. Cass were queuing up.
That there was no doubt. 3 men were lining up there. It was a superb kick, and Francis Cummins is the saviour.
Innis, I beg your pardon, driving it in hard. Lowe's to Fozzard. Ooh.
Well, we knew it was going to be tough.
Oh.
We knew it was going to be hard out there. Fast and furious stuff.
The pace unrelenting in the opening 17 and a half. Oh, the mistake from number 6, Tony Kemp.
Good play, though, by his opposite, Tony Smith. Kemp knew that he was racing towards him. He took his eyes off the football. Calm it down, boys. Come on.
Andy Hill takes the tackle. Tony Kemp gets back in the defensive line. Knows that he's surrendered possession to Castleford. This is Nathan Sykes. Struggling to get to his feet and plays it to Maskill. This now is Stevens. Here's Tony Smith. Jason Flowers. They've got men out wide, and the man out wide was Chris Smith. The pass, though, from Jamie Coventry was not the best.
Chris Smith will not be thanking Coventry for that one. Too high onto the shoulder. They used the dummy runner well, and he rooted away. He really caught one from Craig Innes, who was charging onto him. Chris Smith, a little dark look at his centre partner, Jamie Coventry, and rightly so.
Handling errors, Leeds have made 5. That was Castleford's second. Leeds with possession from the scrum, and this is Iro. Iro tackled by Lee Crooks. Loads. Forshaw filling in the number 13 jersey at loose forward, vacated by the departed Ellery Hanley. Big act to follow. George Mann, second row forward, struggling to release the pass. Thinks about it. Stands, gets dragged up to the halfway line and into the Castleford half of the field. Good play by the barrel George Mann.
You can see that good defence there. It was Tony Marchant, as we said before the game. They'll move out quickly to try to force Tony Kemp down the centre. Up until now, they've done that well.
A little kick over the top. Middleton will watch it and allow it to run into touch. I wish that the powers that be would stop that and players would be forced to pick the ball up rather than just simply let it run out.
Simon Middleton knows, though, the experience. Just let it go. He knows that they'll get the head and feed. It's fast and furious. He knows to calm it down a little bit. Leeds are having to chase. Cass are in the lead.
Good defence from Iro and Innes, pulling the fullback Jason Flowers down. Flowers, who is a more than able deputy for the injured Graham Steadman. That's Jamie Coventry. He too only 18 years of age. It's a very young Castleford side, this, but the old heads are there too, like Crooks, who plays that ball to Maskill. Here's Tony Smith, clobbered by Harman. Castleford running the show in terms of possession. Quarter of this game gone. Stevens. Andy Hill disappears under the challenge. Forshaw down below, and Lowe's coming in to finish off over the top. Maskill will drill the ball downfield, but too much on that is the no. Cummins must run the ball out. Nathan Sykes is there, so too Lee Crooks. Crooks just got a hand to him.
Excellent kick, though, from Colin Maskill. He split the defence, and the chase was there.
Lovely play from Tate, who finds Iro, and Iro strides into the Castleford half. A lovely dummy. Oh, look at this from Iro! Brilliant try. Kevin Iro with a marauding run downfield, and he levels the score. Big Kevin Iro, New Zealand international. My word, Bradford came in with an audacious bid for him last week, and that's why they want him, but Leeds hanging on to him.
Well, Castleford will be spitting chips. It was a beautiful kick from Maskill, but they allowed Tate to release the football. The cover was not there. And what on earth was Tony Smith doing? He threw the dummy. He should have gone low. You don't go high on the big man that they nicknamed the Beast. He just fended him away. Super skills, though, from Kevin Iro. He is so strong. And look at the step there. He throws the dummy, but this is where Tony Smith should have gone low. You can't try to stop a man like that. He's so big and strong. Super try.
Kevin Iro, terrific effort from deep inside his own half. He picked that up. And once he saw the gaps opening up, there was only going to be one result. Touches down, levels the scores, and this kick now from Francis Cummins, a simple kick it is too, should make it 2 out of 2. And after conceding a 10-point lead to Castleford, this kick will give Leeds the lead. Side puts it nonchalantly over the bar, and Leeds have come back from 10-0 down to 12-10 ahead.
Where the cross is, that's where they should have been doing the tackling. They allowed Tate to get into the 25 and then release the big fella. 3-on-1. And soon as he stepped back on the inside, but Tony Smith won't like that. He knows he's made a big mistake. But let's not take anything away from Kevin Iro, a match winner, a big game player.
And Hugh McGann and Dean Bell, the new coaching duo, know all about Kevin Iro. Played New Zealand Test teams with those two in the 80s, did Iro. Meanwhile, the kick-off out on the fall from Ian Smales.
Well, a lot of mistakes. We saw Mike Forshaw knock on from the resulting kick-off from Leeds' first try, and then they do that. Plenty to say from both coaches, I'm sure, at the half-time break. But it's fast and furious.
Neil Harmon picks himself up, one of the members of the England World Cup squad, the Leeds prop forward. Some people say a surprising inclusion, but he's a big, strong boy and just the sort that England need if they have a realistic World Cup bid. Temp is flattened meanwhile by Crooks. Now George Mann went one way and then came on the inside.
He felt that tackle, did Tony Kemp. He's still taking breath.
Gibbons, it's a good kick. He didn't get it though. Cummins was after it and he just didn't win the race. The ball just reached the whitewash before him.
Oh, it was close, wasn't it? It was a beautiful kick, though, from the little halfback, David Gibbons. Super little chip through. They'd left him. Cummins had an open run. Only the touchline beat him. Pretty high from Mercer. It's a bit of a grab. Oh, how close can you get? Good touch judging.
So close leads to a third try. 12-10, the men from Headingley lead here at Weldon Road. Well, take your eyes off this match at your peril. Lee Harlan disappears under the challenge. Maskill switches in the direction of the attack. Tony Smith straight down the middle. Desperate defence from James Lowes, and it had to be. Maskill to Crooks, and Crooks will put a little kick in over the top, but just too much beef behind that from Crooks.
He won't be happy with it. There you could see there was no pressure applied. You're going to try the bomb. You must ensure that you give yourself time and your players to get underneath it. But Alan Tate had all the time in the world to allow that to bounce dead in goal. I just get the feeling that Leeds are building in confidence now, that last try. They've stepped up a cog, I feel.
Yes, they've certainly found their feet. You might have heard Graham Holroyd earlier saying it was a difficult journey from Headingley. It's not the longest trip that they'll have all season, but that M62 can be a problem. And it obviously was for Leeds tonight, but my word, they're off the bus now.
They're starting to find that gap out wide, and John Joyner, the Castleford coach, knows it.
Concerned look on his face. A dream start for his men, but just now Leeds starting to fling the ball around. And that went backwards, but that went forwards, and Castleford will have it back. It was a mistake by Forshaw, but not the best pass.
Well, once again, we see panic football from a Leeds side who's taken the lead for the first time in the game. That's when you try to consolidate, not play panic football. As I mentioned before, there'll be plenty said at the break when they start taking oranges.
Smales takes Castleford to the Leeds half of the field. These two sides met 3 times last season, honours even. Leeds won here. There was a draw at Headingley in the big league, and then Castleford won the Regal Trophy quarter-final at Headingley in blistering fashion. Referee here has blown his whistle, put the scrum down, and has awarded Leeds head and feed.
He lost it. He just lost it completely. Ian Smales lost control of the football. Knock on, well spotted by Cummings.
Kemp spread the pass to Iro. Fallon called for it and got it. Jim Fallon, 4 are after him. Flowers and Jamie Coventry bring him down. Cummings is there. This is man straight. Wrestling away from the tackle from Lee Harland, and the ball out now with Cummings. Harland got back to foil that particular Leeds raid. Here's Fozzard.
Leeds know they've got to get the ball out wide. Castleford defence is beginning to weaken.
Iro tosses it back. Man picks up. It's now with Mercer. Mercer flings it back inside. He was in danger of going out of play. Gibbons, and Gibbons is held up. I think the referee has called a forward pass in that move somewhere, and he will put the scrum down and give Castleford head and feed.
Well, he's deemed that is a forward pass. It looked all right from me. Mercer just throwing the ball back in the inside. Either way, Castleford breathed a sigh of relief. Another knock there to Tony Kemp. Hugh McGann looking on intently.
Alongside Hugh McGann, Paul Fletcher, one of the assistant coaches at Headingley. They will be happy to see Dean Bell arrive, won't they, Steve-O? A big match this weekend for the Auckland Warriors. If they lose, Dean Bell will be on the first available plane to Headingley.
He'll sort of feel things out at Leeds, I'll tell you. He's a strong man, both on and off the field. The big question is, will Dean Bell actually be a player coach? We'll have to wait and see.
The kick from Tony Smith. I think that's simply to relieve the pressure. Castleford been under the cosh for the last few moments.
Percentage football, and Tony Smith realises it. Classy player, England cap, knows what it's all about. We have not seen him trail Lee Crooks as often as what you see in the past, but that's mainly due to the fact that Leeds' defence is pretty solid down the middle.
Just back to that Dean Bell situation. Apparently John Money down under was praising Dean Bell to the skies last week, and he said if he was in charge at Leeds, he would certainly have Bell out on the field for another 12 months at least. Interesting.
We'll have to wait and see. He's a classy player. He's in the twilight of his career, obviously, but the experience that he's gained for all those coaches, John Money as well, he'll certainly have a few tricks up his sleeve, I'm sure. And Leeds need it. They need a lot of guidance, I feel.
Well, they're ahead here by 2 points. Half an hour of this first half gone. 10 to the interval. Fozzard and Crooks clash in the centre of the field. Lowe's spins the ball into the arms of Kemp under pressure from Smith. Tony Smith obviously has been told to watch Kemp like a hawk here tonight. Maybe that's why we haven't seen him funneling up to skirt round Lee Crooks.
Well, he's doing a good job, Tony Smith. You don't allow it on there. Neil Harmon comes in with a flop. There's no reason to do that. That is just lack of concentration. You kick the ball downfield, you apply the pressure, and what do? You give away a silly penalty. That's the type of thing that Dean Bell will try to drum out of the minds of these Leeds players.
The kick from Smales takes Castleford to the halfway line, and Nathan Sykes takes it 5 metres into the Leeds half of the field. Maskill showed it then to Crooks, took it on himself. Another 10 metres gain. Crooks in a dummy half. Stevens wanted it. Castleford attacked the blind. Fozzard just getting him round the collar. Kemp finishing him off downstairs. Now Tony Smith. Good tackle. Great tackle from Neil Harmon. Here's Stevens. Now Crooks. Again, the little kick over the top. That's a ploy. They fancy taking Cummings on. The ball bounces. And it bounces dead. But it bounced, I think, off a Castleford player, and it'll be a tap on the 20.
I think he came with the full-back Flowers, but it was a beautiful weighted kick from Lee Crooks. He would have been disappointed with the one previous.
He's tried that 2 or 3 times tonight, hasn't he? It must be a planned move from John Joyner, that.
Well, it's always a good ploy against a sliding defence, and that's what Leeds try to do. Been caught out a couple of times.
That was great play by Mercer. Stood in the tackle, wheeled and found Lowe's. Here's Kemp. Now Forshaw. Spins, gets the ball away. Gibbons evades the clutches of the Castleford defence and finds Tate, and Tate couldn't wheel it in. Oh, and that's real risky business from Crooks.
What on earth was Crooks doing there? He thought that Stuart Cummins was going to blow up for an infringement beforehand, but he's got Tony Kemp for an infringement. And there you see Simon Middleton shouting. It was a good break from David Gibbons, and Tate really should have taken that. He was harassed by Tony Marchant just enough to take his mind off accepting it, but that's a high tackle from Tony Kemp. But Simon Middleton came racing in from the wing, set to Lee Crooks, slow it down and play the ball.
Well, he was lucky to get away with that, Crooks. Good job for him, but the referee has got the eagle eye. Maskell again. Disappears under that challenge. Stevens to Smales. Good to see Ian Smales back in the fray. Broke his arm in December. Former Featherstone man. This is Tony Smith.
Good defence there. We saw Gary Mercer going low.
Sykes, fed by Andy Hill, crawling a couple more metres into the danger zone for Leeds. Now Gareth Stevens. Here's Crooks again. Decides to take the pass this time to Haaland. Haaland out the back door. Stevens will keep the movement going, but not now. That's a terrific tackle from Jimmy Lowes.
The hooker did well there. Stevens went round on the blind side. Lowes just wrapped him up. Crunch time. There's been some great tackling out there.
6 minutes to half-time, plus anything the timekeepers add.
This is where Castleford have to be careful. The big fella made a beautiful break and scored the try from this part of the ground.
Fallon now will try and take them on. Fallon halted by Flowers, the fullback. Long ball here to Kemp. Oh, juggling skills from Kemp. Forshaw through the gap. Oh, it's a great try, Forshaw. Kemp, well, he fooled them all with his juggling skills, and he just popped the ball up to Forshaw, who shot through the biggest hole in Castleford's defence. Mike Forshaw, his second try in Leeds colours.
First time that Kemp's received a ball out wide, even though he juggled it, was just in time to take control. A well-timed pass. You can see the hung off the loose forward Mike Forshaw, who did well. He stepped at the right moment. But once again, Castleford have been caught. Leeds attacking from well within their own quarter. Fingertip control just held off there. It really was a poor attempt. The defence was all at sea. Long ball out wide. Draws the man through. Oh, I'm afraid that was sheer skill. The timing was perfect. Forshaw in for the 4.
Mike Forshaw will have enjoyed that. And Francis Cummins with another easy conversion attempt from bang in front. 2 out of 2. Not really been tested yet, the Leeds goal kicker. That's 3 out of 3 for Cummins. Castleford 10, Leeds 18. At one stage, of course, Cass ahead 10-0.
There you see they pull out the defence. It leaves a winger all on his own. And Forshaw goes straight through it. It's a huge gap. Well played. All the way back from their own quarter. That's the second try that Leeds have bounced back with from deep within their own half. Tremendous play.
Yes, Mike Forshaw, the man who was Wakefield's skipper this time last year, starting to make a bit of an impact at Headingley, and certainly making an impact here at Weldon Road tonight for Leeds. Let's go downstairs. I think it'll be a happier Graham Holroyd now with Bill.
First news is that Nick Fossard has come off. It looks like a blood bin. He's got a cut on the back of his head. So Aseni Faimalo has come on. In fact, Graham and I were just commenting that defences had tightened up, and then in roared Mike Forshaw. Cast defence really wasn't there, was it, Graham?
No, they got stretched out wide, and good hands by Tony Kemp, and that enabled Mike Forshaw to score his first try for the Leeds team. So, well done to Mike Forshaw. I hope that Leeds can continue, controlling the ball as they are doing in this last 10-15 minutes.
It's Leeds who are in possession with Faimalo. Awarded the penalty. Lee Crooks just had a word in Stuart Cummings' ear, asking for clarification of his ruling.
It was offside. He allowed the advantage.
So Leeds with another chance here. Gibbons, the man who fed Kemp. Kemp then just popped the ball up to Forshaw. Lowe's dummy half. Mann. Oh, and Mann thought the tackle wasn't completed, just moved forward 2 steps. Ball turned inside to Kemp. Here now is Gary Mercer. Desperate defence from Castleford.
Well, he should have been penalised. He walked off the mark then, if that's the case.
But he definitely did. And Craig Innes, the man who just bundles Chris Smith over the line.
Super kick, well weighted by Tony Kemp. And when he got defence like that, Craig Innes, he has a fine season out in Australia with the Perth side. Even though they are not up there with the big boys, they have impressed down under in their very first season. He certainly has helped them. Well, of course he walked off the mark. There was that he said, and as far as I'm concerned, he should have been penalised.
Fallon just looking over the shoulder. Gibbons was in support. Fallon thought better of it. Crooks looking to get away with that. He had another snap at the ankles. Forshaw gets it away to Gibbons. Gibbons crashed to the ground by 3. Cummings in to sort out to play the ball. Lowe's gives it to Mercer. So close again, Leeds. Neil Harmon rather, really having quite an influence, these Leeds forwards. Kemp, another influential figure, and that looked high from Maskill.
Looked it? It was. He jumped at him like one of those rock apes in Gibraltar. Oh! Lucky to get away with that one.
Quick penalty by Leeds. It's with George Mann. Let's try and get Steve-O's description of a rock ape before this night is over. Leeds, meanwhile, they put the ball into touch.
Oh, a bad opportunity missed there. He knows it as well, does Craig Innes. Just before the half-time break, that would have been a killer.
Well, Castleford breathed a sigh of relief.
A rock ape is something that throws itself round your neck.
Thank you very much. Right, this scrum goes down. Good little run from the winger Chris Smith. Trying to relieve the pressure now. Castleford with Jason Flowers right on the stroke of half-time.
Castleford have to play out these 6. It's important now. Possession is vital so that they can regroup at the half-time break. John Johnny will have plenty to say, especially about those 2 tries that they allowed in when they had Leeds well and truly camped in their own quarter.
Remember, Castleford came back from the dead against Oldham last week to steal the points. Looks like they've got to come from behind again in the second half. Tough tackling from that Leeds defence. Maskill gives it to Smales. Smales shaping for the kick. Out on the full. Just sliced it off the outside of the boot. Mistake.
They're just losing their way a little bit, Castleford now. Really, a kick downfield would have been more to their advantage. The dying seconds, they should have really forced Leeds back into their own half.
As it is, it's Castleford who are being forced back. Crunching tackle from Crooks on Gary Mercer. Crooks taking his time to get off him. Lowe's from dummy half.
Surely the lot for the kick. They must know it's pretty close to half-time.
Gibbons to Kemp. Kemp spills the ball to no one in particular. Marchant picks it up. Gibbons is funneled back to cut up the danger. There's the siren. Good half. Castleford racing into the lead, courtesy of the try from Middleton and Maskell early on. That made it 10-0. But then back came this Leeds side. They got going after a quarter of an hour when number 6, Tony Kemp, got over for a try against his former club. And then the half was illuminated by a magnificent score from Kevin Iro. Forshaw added another. Leeds turned round with an 18 points to 10 advantage at half-time. And for the second match in a row, Castleford will have to come from behind if they're to win this one. Here by 22 points to 16 last season. They've won on each of their last 5 league and cup visits. They're on course again for the 2 big league points. 18-10 up at the half-time break. And Tony Kemp, certainly the man of the moment, but the camera never lies. And he has to release the football from his grasp, and he has to play it with his foot. He didn't do that for that quick-thinking try of his. Can't blame him. Taking the rule to the absolute limit or no limit. And the referee, as Steve-O said, was spot on and was right there next to him. Should have pulled him back, Steve-O. Should have been no try. That was the one that got Leeds on the roll.
It broke the Castleford hearts, didn't it? Not surprisingly, the Castleford captain Lee Crooks has had plenty to say in the last 10 minutes to Stuart Cummings. Not as much I would suspect that the coach John Joyner has been saying to his chargers in the half-time break. He will not be best pleased.
Second half of the second live Friday match here on Sky Sports of the Stones Bidder Championship centenary season. And Castleford, in the shape of Ian Smales, get us underway, and they have it all to do over the next 40 minutes to try and halt their more glamorous local rivals from marching on to 2 out of 2 wins at the start of this season. Gary Mercer playing the ball there. It's his 100th appearance for Leeds here tonight. Great servant, the big Kiwi second rower, and here's another big Kiwi, Isini Faimalo.
They're the right tactics from Leeds, and I'm sure that the coach Hugh McGahn has told them that Castleford will perhaps throw everything but the kitchen sink at them in the first 10-15 minutes. And if they can hold back... Oh, that was a good defence. Not so sure it was a bit high. Whoa. Well, there's quite a few got away with them. There's Kemp. Does the right thing. It's a good chase. See the second rower, George Mann, coming in. But Kemp goes right on the inside. Whoa. Well, there's been not just 50-50, I reckon 70-30. It should have been picked up, but they have not been.
Fallon collects the ball on the halfway line, makes 10 metres ground, plays it to James Lowes, and here now is Gibbons. Another young man grabbing his opportunity with 2 hands, Gibbons, in the problem position for Leeds at scrum half. Lowes, the captain, Lowes over the top to Innes, and Innes just forced back. The referee blows the whistle.
Forward pass is what is given, and he's right.
Absolutely.
Even though Jason Flowers... Now the referee played on there just to see. Now he's held back there. Tony Smith and Coventry did a damn good job there in his complaint to Cummings. But you do mention the little halfback, David Gibbons. He really has played well. Good, solid performance. Not doing too much. Knows that his job is to get the ball out wide. And when you've got great players like Iro and Innes in the centres and Tony Kemp, why not?
Ian Smales just hanging on to it. Let's go downstairs and we'll talk to Graham Stedman, one of the missing 10 for Castleford.
Graham, Casper are by no means out of this, only 8 points in it.
No, I think it's important that we get the next score, and the lads have got to get a good set of 6 and play a bit of football in the Leeds 22.
That's what we're doing just now with the centre Jamie Coventry and desperate defence from David Gibbons. It's the last tackle here for Castleford. We'll try and get back to Graham Stedman in a moment. Maskell, Middleton wants it spread out wide. There's the kick from Crooks. Middleton's on his bike. Tate is there, and Tate just shuttles the ball dead. Simon Middleton was calling and screaming for that. Let's have it over the top, he said.
How cool was Alan Tate? He knew that someone was bearing down upon him. Simon Middleton was charging through. That's why he's classed as one of the best fullbacks in the world.
Yeah, coolest man on the field was Alan Tate. It's a drop out from underneath their own post by Leeds. And what length on that. Right to the opposite end of the field, and Jamie Coventry will run it back. OK, back to Graham Steadman and Bill.
Graham, a good attacking position. Have Cass got what it takes to last? Because on paper you'd think Leeds were the stronger finishers.
Yeah, man for man on paper, Leeds do look the stronger side. The internationals have got on view tonight, but all credit to ours. We've got a lot of inexperienced players out there, and there's one or two of them showing the Leeds team what they're worth.
Indeed so, and every time Graham Steadman gets the microphone, Castleford spring to action. Here they are again with Maskell. Maskell try! His second of the night, and he's put Castleford back in the hunt here. Maskell with the try. They'll be using Graham Steadman as their lucky mascot every time they appear in front of our cameras.
Well, Graham Steadman will want to talk all the second half. Great run there from Ian Smales. Tony Kemp went low, but you could see how Smales just pushed him away with the shoulder. Back on the inside, Iro came to him. The second rower handy heel, quick play the ball, and the experience of Maskell. Through the dummy, they took it. On the line is sufficient. He gets a facial, but look at that. Great play from the loose forward Ian Smales. The step at the right moment. Iro was there. That was good defence. But the second rower, Hill, look at the dummy. You saw Kemp take out Tony Marchant too on his way back in defence. There's Marchant taking a tumble. Either way, he sent the defence away. Leeds were caught. Excellent fight back. What a great try.
Second try for Colin Maskell. No doubts whatsoever that it was legal. On the line is a try, and Maskell touched the whitewash with the ball. Now here is a very important kick for Lee Crooks. This will bring his team right back in the hunt. He spewed it wide. That's not one of Lee Crooks' better effort. But still, Castleford first blood, just as Graham Steadman said they must.
Four Leeds defenders all in the circle going one way, and that way is where the arrow is pointing. Maskell throws the dummy and goes back. Nothing they can do about it. Experience and strength. Beautiful play. He's been around long enough to know that wasn't a double movement, and he knows that on the line is sufficient.
So, Castleford very much alive at the start of this second half. The first try for them, as Graham Steadman said from sideline with Phil, so important that they scored first. And Phil Eden, 31 years old, former Wakefield Trinity man, has come on to try and add a vital spark in place of Lee Harland. Crooks will drive that ball in.
Leeds are missing a few tackles. They're moving up in one line, but they're missing the tackle. That was fair. It was a strong challenge by Tony Kemp, right around the chest.
Smales looked at him, grinned at him, and winked at him. He will come back for more. Castleford in possession, just inside the Leeds half, with two-try Maskell. He finds Crooks. Crooks just pats the ball out wide, and out the back door it goes. Crooks is on the deck, and then he forces it into the chest of Maskell, and the referee says knock on. It was on the last. It's the turnover.
Bit of a grin on Colin Maskell's face there, but Coventry got it away, and the man that should have been in charge, perhaps back for the kick, was sat on the ground. That's a prop forward, Lee Crooks. But they are making the ground, and Leeds will have to start working hard to get back into this game, even though they still hold a 4-point lead.
Hazard drives it in, right into the chest of Nathan Sykes. And Fozzard has returned, of course, from the blood bin and has replaced Assini for Milo. So Leeds, as they were at the start now, and in possession with Craig Innes. Innes, who made his debut a couple of years ago in the big league. And Gibbons, one of the newcomers. The Leeds just dropping the ball and knocking on. It's the turnover.
Well, it's just panic football again. I really can't believe what's happening there. Leeds caught offside. Quick play, the ball caught them. James Lowe, the skipper, was one of them. Stuart Cummings at about 11. to choose from there. He's missed a few things, but not on that occasion. And Leeds know that they're going to have to work for this. Castleford are not going to just die and lie down.
4 points the difference. The handling errors for Leeds creeping up. 11 they have made. And Castleford just the 3. Maskill at dummy half. The runner there is Phil Eden. He was a decade at Wakefield Trinity, and now here he is at Cass. And that was a lovely ball. And that's a lovely ball to Smales. And there's Marchant. And Marchant, does he ground the ball? Was he held up? Big decision for the referee. The referee
is giving it.
No, he's having a word with the in-goal judge.
I think he'll have him held up. I think Tate went underneath him.
Held up is the decision. No try. Marchant can't believe it, and neither can John Joyner.
They can look all they want. It's a great decision. Well played by Tate. He got his legs underneath it. Marchant could not get it down. That is wonderful play there. There you see the arm. Excellent decision. That is the reason why we have in-goal judges. And boy, we needed one then.
It was great refereeing then by Stuart Cummins and his colleague in goal. And because he was held up over the line, Cass head and feet at the scrum. That's why they're applying the pressure again with Lee Crooks. That's how close Castleford are. Maskill spins it out wide. This is Hill. Just took a tumble. Smales in at dummy half. Switches the direction of the attack. Crooks on then to Tony Smith. And Castleford lost ground then. They lost about 6 or 7 metres. This is the last tackle. Maskill back to Crooks. Crooks over the top. They're too strong. That will be brought back, and it'll be the turnover on the last tackle.
Completely went astray. The idea was there. They were queuing up 4 players for Castleford. A wasted effort. But what a great fight back. I'm sure that Leeds didn't expect Castleford just to throw the towel in. It's always tough here at Weldon Road, even though they've done very well at Leeds over the time. And offside, swinging arm. But I've seen worse than that. Not be penalised.
He's pinned Castleford for offside. That's his signal, but it was high, certainly, from Nathan Sykes.
Well, it certainly wasn't a swinging arm in my book.
Hazard will drive it in. Maskill and Crooks, experienced heads in this Castleford defence. Now Neil Harmon.
This is where the Leeds forwards have to work, Eddie. They've got to really work towards the stick so that Kemp can get the ball out wide.
Here's Kemp now, fed by Gibbons. Gives it to Forshaw again. Forshaw with support from Tate. And Tate, well, he tried to get the pass away and he eventually took the tackle. Leeds 3 metres from the line now with Lowe's and Gibbons and Kemp. And Kemp knocks the ball back and Castleford pick it up. What a contest this is. Chris Smith gets to his feet second time.
Tremendous play by Chris Smith. He used the referee to perfection. Used him as a foil, sidestep round him. Leeds couldn't get anywhere near him.
Well, just a few moments ago we saw John Joyner in the crowd biting his nails. Then we saw Hugh McGann. Both sides, there is McGann on the left of your screen with Paul Fletcher alongside him. And both sides so close to vital tries in this second half. Terrific contest. We knew it would be.
Wonderful effort from both sides. They're working hard. Okay, there's been quite a few mistakes, more on the Leeds side, but that's because they're trying to keep the ball alive.
Crooks plays it. This is Stevens. Smales was there. He found Flowers. Jason Flowers is in. They get the try this time. The Leeds defence melted. And Flowers, the 20-year-old, scooted through the gap for his second try of the season. And the scores at Weldon Road are now level.
Quick play the ball. Stevens out wide. They used Smales as the dummy. Iro went out. Kent failed to fill in the gap. And the fullback, Jason Flowers, in for a tremendous time. Play the ball here. He doesn't play with it. Yes, he got his studs to it. That's enough. That's all it takes. But Gareth Stevens running the angle. Now watch Iro go out. Kemp has to fill in. He was too late, and Flowers plants it. Excellent play. The studs did enough to bring it back into play. That was okay, but look at the dummy there. That's the problem with sliding defence. Iro goes out, Kemp fails to go in, and Flowers, that's blooming stuff.
Try against Oldham last week, try here tonight to level those scores. And Crooks, 1 out of 3. Well, if ever there was a moment for the big fella to kick a goal, this is it. Misses another. Crooks, I don't know whether they're new boots, but they aren't his kicking boots. 18 all at Weldon Road. Well, what a match this is turning into. Jason Flowers with a vital try. His second in successive matches. We're all level here, 18 all, and Kemp restarts. A contest and a half, Steve-O.
Sure is, but I'm sure that Castleford's lead Crooks will be wanting to forget about those missed kicks. A couple of them have been quite easy, and that really could decide this game.
Maskill, the dummy half, he can kick a goal or two. Lee Crooks, of course, who has had the responsibility for 4 seasons of kicking the goals. Adrian Morley's come on for Leeds. Neil Harmon has run very strongly, the prop forward.
Well, I think that Hugh McGahn has to bring on the likes of Gary Schofield. He's got to have someone starting and organising this Leeds outfit. Otherwise, they are just going to go on the back burner.
Neil Harmon, by the way, is in the blood bin. Cummins, that ball went backwards, says the referee, and Cummins, because he was facing his own line, gets benefit of the doubt. The Castleford fans furious, but Leeds not hanging round to debate the issue.
Ooh.
Well, it went forward, didn't it?
Looked it to me. Well, they've had the rub of the green a couple of times of Leeds. Either way, this is where they're going to roll the sleeves up, get into some hard work, play out the 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve-O, Castleford really have been pumped up at the start of this second half. And remember, they started the first half brilliantly too.
The problem is that Leeds knew that they would come out with all guns a-blazing, and they have. They've done nothing about it. Now that's better from Kemp. That's a good chase.
Great chase downfield. Chris Smith with nowhere to go. And again, Castleford camped on their own line. Middleton, the dummy half now, trying to get away from the danger area. Makes 10 metres.
Good work by the Leeds second marker there, James Lowes. They really have applied the pressure. They're not going to let Castleford out of their own quarter.
Smales was the runner. Good hard yards made there by the Castleford forwards. Maskill will clear his lines now. Pumps it into the Leeds half of the field. And Cummins will run it back for Leeds. Well, 18 all it is. I wonder what Graham Holroyd thinks about it all now as Cummins, well, I was going to say he loses it, but he had the ball stolen from him. Let's find out. Graham Holroyd's with Bill.
Graham, you've got to give Castleford credit for a tremendous second half fight back.
Yeah, they've really come back in the second half, but I think if Lee Crooks had kicked them goals at his mission, Leeds could have been in trouble. But luckily for Leeds, he hadn't kicked the goal, so hopefully Leeds can scratch a win out of this one.
Do you think it's time for Gary Schofield to come on?
I don't know. I don't think Leeds want to change their pattern of play, you know, with Dave Gibbons and Tony Kemp. But, you know, that's up to you, McGann. But personally, I wouldn't change it, in my honest opinion. But, you know, that's not for me to say. But hopefully, let's hope, you know, Leeds can scratch a win out of this, because at the moment they're a bit wayward.
Graham Holroyd saying leave things as it is, but at 18 all we have a great contest. And Steve-O, down the years on Sky Sports, we have seen some belters between these two. And here's Iro. Iro's got fallen out wide, but he also has the entire Castleford defence after him. And Iro just spills the ball into touch.
Well, it's only a little fella, this Tony Smith, but he plays with pride, 100%. Iro couldn't believe it, that the little fella picked him up and said, you're on your way to the touchline. Eventually, the man they call the Beast lost it. But what on earth was the second rower Andy Hill doing way down in the Leeds quarter, giving away a silly penalty like that? Inexperienced, I'm sure that he will learn from that. He's only new into the big league. They have to learn somewhere, and it's pretty tough to learn out there.
But Steve-O, what a contest again between these two.
Well, we always expect it, don't we? They hate each other. It always adds that little bit of spice. The crowd are up for it.
Yes, the crowd are up for this. The crowd will be up at Warrington on Sunday when we're there, and the crowd will certainly be up at St Helens on Monday when Wigan are in town. We're live from Knowsley Road Monday afternoon. 1 o'clock, we hit the airwaves. 2 o'clock, the players hit the pitch. And of course, that match marks the centenary of the game. It's Founders' Day, and what better match could we have chosen than the most keenly fought and oldest local derby in the business. This isn't a bad one either, though. Cass and Leeds, quarter of the match to go, and it's level pegging at 18 all.
It's got to be down to tactics. They've got to change the tactics, especially Leeds. They're playing one-out football far too much. Someone's got to take control.
Here's Tate. Ball out wide to Iro. Iro drops it. There was no suggestion then of the ball stolen. The big Keeley just lost it.
He was trying to bring the ball back into play on the inside. So many times they've done that. Well, maybe there's a fingertip got to it. Pretty hard to see there.
Coming up to the hour mark here, and how long do you think it will be before Hugh McGann decides to inject Gary Schofield into the proceedings?
Well, I'd have him on now, not only just for his general play, but for his kicking ability. He's been through the mire so many times. He knows the pressure. He knows how to handle pressure situations.
And he's been a match winner here at Castleford before. Smith, Tony Smith. Meanwhile, Schofield just watching and waiting for his opportunity, and maybe he's been given the nod there because it looks like he's preparing to come on. Fallon, back to Lowe's. The referee says that that was a forward pass.
And he's right, and they are losing their marbles again. Why on earth do you have to pass the football there? You know that the man's in front. It is just a sheer lack of professionalism. He shakes his head, he knows.
The 13th handling error by this Leeds team tonight. Craig Innes has been withdrawn, and it's Paul Cook who's come on. Innes has got a leg problem as Flowers breaks the defence. Flowers has got Gibbons after him, but will win the race. His second try of this half for Jason Flowers, and he gives Castleford the lead again. Just 20, but my word, is this Jason Flowers growing up into the big league.
Wonderful play. Leeds again. They hesitated. You must move forward. Alan Tate missed his man. In the modern day of football, the fullback always stands square at the scrum, and you pay the price sometimes. Just one little step, you could see that Alan Tate had hesitated. Instead of forcing Flowers either back on the inside or out wide, and this guy has the speed. What a game he's having. Watch Tate, he moves up, and then at the last moment just stands still. There's nothing you can do about it, but didn't he step on the gas? Oh, nice play. That is a confident player. Little dummy, it was enough. There was nothing that David Gibbons can do, and he must be a happy man.
That's a happier picture from John Joyner, the Castleford coach. But he knows it's only the battle that's been won. The war is still to come as Flowers jogs his way back. Now, you may have noticed Jim Fallon just jogging behind Flowers as he made the break. Jim Fallon lost his boot and simply couldn't run. He didn't wave the white flag, he had no boot. Here's an important kick, and Crooks has missed another. Well, 22 points to 8. If Crooks had have brought his boots, what might have happened?
Well, there's Tate circled. He must move forward. He didn't. He hesitated at the last moment. And once you just stood still, anyone can step you on the inside. Great play. He really has taken his chances.
Hasn't he ever? He scored 2 tries in 9 minutes. And Castleford wrest the advantage back from the men from Headingley. 22 points to 18 inside the final quarter. Well, Leeds looked like they were coasting half-time, but say what you like about this Castleford side, no matter who pulls those jerseys on, Steve-O, they play on pride and on passion.
Well, we always knew that, didn't we? They came back the second half against Oldham, and this is great play.
Coventry to Flowers. He gets the pass away, and Chris Smith is clobbered by George Mann. Leeds are on the ropes. They've lost Fozzard, replaced by Harmon. The blood bin has returned. That was Neil Harmon. Marchant takes the tackle, plays it to Smales, inside to Tony Smith. Smith dabs it forward, and that will make Fallon play for it. Look at the chase from Middleton. Terrific kick. It wouldn't go out.
Just the right weight from Tony Smith. He was under a lot of pressure. And Simon Middleton, a hero. He won the game for Castleford against Oldham last week, and that tackle could well give them a vital 2 points. Well, it looked as though Leeds were in full control just before the half-time break. What on earth did John Joyner say to his Castleford players? Whatever it was, it certainly worked.
Tony Smith taking control. They are certainly beginning to grit their teeth, Castleford, and get stuck in here. The possession overwhelmingly in their favour. Maskill, here comes another attack led by Eden, and Eden stepping his way almost through Gibbons, but not quite. Maskill, space here for Stevens, and for Tony Smith, and for Jason Flowers. The ball out wide. It was a knock-on by the Leeds man. The referee will put the scrum down. More pressure on its way here.
Paul Cook getting a hand to it, trying to get the ball away. Jason Flowers linking in from the full-back position again. He really is full of confidence. Leeds are on the rack.
And they'll have to withstand more pressure here from Smith, who runs straight.
What a great game this standoff has had. Both in defence and attack, he's been everywhere.
Here's Coventry. Tackled by Mike Forshaw. Maskill, the general at dummy half. Look for Crooks. Just through the dummy. Marchant's in there now. Maskill plays it to him. Looping pass into the arms of Stevens. Stevens to Smith. Oh, and it was just behind the man. Andy Hill was steaming up, and the pass just went behind him.
Well, he could have got caught there for offside. He never made the 10, never went back there. Good thinking by Cummins to play quickly. Referee Cummins applied the advantage, and they've got it.
This is Gibbons. He was fed by Mercer. Look at that handling error count for Leeds. 13-4. They don't want to put it down here. Mann to Forshaw. The ball back inside. They have dropped it. Francis Cummins gets the butterfingers. Error number 14.
Deary me. What on earth would the coach Hugh McGahn be thinking now? He has to do something. It's desperation stakes because they are losing their cool. And I'm not so sure they lost that. I think that Gareth Stevens helped it out with a swinging right arm. So the rub of the green going to Castleford on that occasion. They'll just stick it up the jumpers now, Castleford. They'll work out the 6. They know how important that it is to keep possession. Nothing silly.
Hugh McGann and Paul Fletcher looking on. They look the coolest customers inside Weldon Road. But can they hold this rampant Castleford side out in the closing 12 minutes or so? Gary Schofield is warming up. Maybe we will see him return to the action shortly. Meanwhile, it's Nathan Sykes. Sykes who steps through the challenge of Harmon. That's the last tackle. Maskill to Stevens, to Crooks. They're running it, Cass. Stevens almost through. The referee said that that tackle was completed.
full of confidence. I'm not so sure that the Castleford took the right option there. I would have opted for a kick into the corner, apply even more pressure.
Iro bundles Marchant out the way, steps through the challenge of Smales. Still going Iro, but eventually Marchant recovers and pulls Iro down. Schofield has come on for Gary Mercer. This, though, is Lowe's to Kemp, to Schofield, out wide to Cook. Paul Cook still going. Great run, great support, Kemp. He has support from Gibbons. What a contest this is. What a match we're getting at Weldon Road. Tremendous game. Lowe's, Schofield, pass out to Iro. Fallon was looking for it. Iro's pass to nobody, and Castleford get it back.
What a tackle from Tony Marchant. Superb play. He clung to Kevin Iro. It was a nice pass from Schofield. 2 passes already, and he set this Leeds attack going forward. Iro couldn't handle it, and Castleford come up with it.
And Schofield, who skirted round the outside of that play, the ball picked up by the referee for moving off the mark. Ian Smales with a bloody nose. Referee Stuart Cummings is the only man who can tell a player to go in the blood bin, and that's exactly what he's doing now, I think, on the pocket. It's a little green and white card. No, he's allowing him to stay on. Maskill just boots the ball out of the ground.
Well, obviously the referee, Stuart Cummings, not happy with the quality of that claret. Allows him to stay on. But what a great effort from this Castleford pack especially. They really have got into it this second half, backed up, supported well by Gallus Stevens and Tony Smith. It's been a great team effort. They've worked hard, they've shared the load.
Have they got enough left in the tank for the last 10? Nothing to choose in the penalty count, 7-6 in Castleford's favour. And here's Jason Flowers, who really has caught the eye second half. Clattered by Forshaw. Marchant again, the evergreen Tony Marchant, 32 years old, loses the ball on the last tackle. Referee looks to the touch judge, and it's the knock-on that's been given.
He lost it, did Marchant? Well,
he's given a penalty to Cass.
Well, I'm not so sure that Forshaw had anything to do with that. I think that Marchant just completely lost control of it. He knows it. He knows that he's a very lucky boy, but that man knows that perhaps he's penalised quite cruelly. Running out of time now, Leeds. But when you've got a fella like Kevin Iro still out there,
well, anything can happen, as he showed in the first half. Leeds working really hard in the tackling, and they'll have to here now with Crooks as he drives it in. Lowe's is all round him, and his big pal Gary Schofield is adding a little bit of weight to the wheel to push Lee Crooks back. Stevens to Smith, and there's the fullback Flowers again.
They've combined well, haven't they? Tony Smith to stand off, bringing the fullback in.
Andy Hill. Oh, Mercer caught him one across the chest, says the referee. But Andy Hill says that's on the head. And I think he's got a case. It was George Mann.
Well, there's been quite a few. There we see Tony Smith skirting tight to Lee Crooks.
It's the last tackle. Is Lee Crooks setting for a drop goal? No, they're coming this way. It bounces off the hands of Kemp, and that's a knock-on, surely. No, the referee says play on. Maybe he touched the Castleford hand on the way. It was Middleton who chased him back anyway and forced Kemp into touch.
But what on earth was the Kiwi doing? Going towards the touchline when possession is vital. It was play on because it came off Marchant's hand. Now he had an open space. Why on earth do you run towards the touch? That's the point where he should have been coming inside.
Great defence from Middleton.
Tremendous to come back, but when you've got the experience of Tony Kemp, an international, he should have gone inside to keep away from the touchline.
Well, Castleford bundling Kemp into touch on the very first tackle. And time running out for Leeds now. Little more than 7 minutes to go plus stoppages. Here's Phil Eden. You get the impression in this second half that Castleford perhaps have wanted this victory a little more than Leeds. Maybe that's unfair on Leeds. But my word, Cass have really rolled their sleeves up and really got stuck in.
They played basic football, played out the six, used the forwards hard, and when you've got a cracker shot like that, and oh, that's a swinger. Gibbons really caught Tony Smith. Smith looks at him and says, I'll have winning pay.
The ball out wide to Coventry. Coventry dabs it through. He was looking for the flying winger, Chris Smith. Instead, all he found was touch. Referee will put the scrum down 10 metres from that Leeds line. Leeds head and feet.
Either way, that's a good option. Beauty little thing. This is the swinging arm. Look at this. Now, youngsters, we can do without that. We've got a lot of future ahead. Some really good talent. But let's get rid of that quickly.
Cook picks himself up. Kemp's the dummy half. And that's Francis Cummins, hat-trick last week. Schofield, has he got the key? He's found Iro. Iro out wide. Ball inside. Schofield continues the movement. They drop it again. The pass looked as though it opened Castleford up.
Oh, it was a superb pass on the inside there. And Cook couldn't take it.
Middleton.
Another chance gone begging. This will be runs from dummy half or one man out. Nothing spectacular. These are the right tactics. And the man carrying the football, Lee Crooks, knows that.
Stevens, straight up the middle again, spinning, thinking about the pass, hanging on. Last tackle. Time for a drop goal, perhaps. It's back with Smith. Dabs it through. That bounced off a Leeds man, but the ball played the man and not vice versa. That's the turnover. Good decision, referee. They've got a penalty now, Leeds. Messing around as Leeds tried to get on with it. And Leeds in a hurry.
Not surprisingly, the experience of Gary Schofield says, let's get on with it. Never mind arguing, let's just get the kick away.
Great run from Harman inside the last 5. Stuart Cummins horsing Castleford back to the line. That was Schofield on the run, met by Lee Crooks. What drama yet for this match? Forshaw! So close. Oh, he's inches short. Desperate moments now for Castleford. Here's Iro. Iro hauled down. Lowe's the dummy half. Going on his own Lowe's. Just held up again short of the line. Schofield spreads it wide. Back to Kemp. This is Mann. And Mann keeps the movement going off the deck to Fallon, who sees space ahead of him. Fallon! Fallon! And Fallon forced into touch. Oh, how close can you get? And Fallon, the frustration there for all to see.
A tremendous effort. He went in and out, did Fallon. But once again, Marchant's come across. Middleton helps. Jason Flowers adds the final touch. Oh, look at that, Marchant. Put his body on the line. How close can you go? Well, he's a veteran in rugby league. Returns to his old stamping ground, but he's worked so hard, especially in defence.
Craig Palmer comes on because Nathan Sykes has taken a bang. Palmer, formerly with Featherstone, just there to shore up the defences for the last 3 minutes. Oh, let's have another quick word with Graham Holroyd. Sands of time running out.
Graham, it looks as though Leeds just aren't going to get that try.
Yeah, it does at the moment. I think we're playing panic football at the moment, but all credit to John Joyner's players. They had a few players out, and I think Leeds thought when they came in, they saw the team, it might be an easy ride, but I think all credit to the youngsters that are out there tonight for Castleford, because they've done a good job.
And Leeds have maybe made just too many errors in this second half. They spilled the ball a lot, haven't they?
Yeah, they completed the set of 6, and that put really much pressure onto the Castleford defence. So, you know, like I said, all credit to the Castleford team, really, you know, with all the youngsters that they've got in.
They keep the movement going, go Leeds. They're not throwing this towel in just yet. That is Adrian Morley. He plays it quickly to Lowe's, who finds Alan Tate. Alan Tate is brought to ground by Maskill, but offside against the Castleford defence. Moving up too quickly. Schofield again, let's get on with it.
He certainly will. The allowed advantage there to Cummins. None forthcoming. Schofield in there. What have Leeds got up their sleeve?
I get the feeling there might be a twist in this tale yet.
I think it'll be a long pass from Schofield out wide.
Harman will drive it in first of all. Takes Leeds to within 8 metres of the line.
Iro is screaming for the football.
They're going that way. Schofield to Kemp. Back to Schofield. Schofield out wide. They're in. Are they in? I think he's touched that down. No. The touch judge shakes his head. The referee, though, says play on. It was no try. Oh, Leeds panic. And for a moment, it looked like Stuart Cummins had pointed to the spot. But the referee and touch judge decided that they didn't get it down.
Oh, what a wonderful effort, though, from Cummins. It was an in short. It was a magnificent pass from Schofield. They did the run around. They'd split the defence. Cummins, all he had to do was finish. He tried. Great scrambling defence, though, from Castleford.
1 minute to go, less than that. Marchant played a tremendous game, Tony Marchant. Tackled by Fallon. Last tackle for Castleford. They're deep in trouble. Crooks out on the full. That will be brought back to where the kick was taken, and it's the turnover.
Take a bow, Fallon. He applied the pressure. This could be their last chance.
Here's Morley. Morley is hauled down. They're in the danger zone, though, Leeds. That's one tackle. 5 to go. Gibbons to Harman. He'll drive it in. And they still have time. 15 seconds plus stoppages.
Schofield setting up for a move. Will they run on the angle?
There's Kemp. Kemp back inside to take. Gibbons was there and the pass just wouldn't come. They're stretched out wide, Cass. There's Schofield. Schofield to Iro. He should have gone on his own. Why didn't Iro go on his own? They've got the penalty. Offside. The siren sounded, but it's offside and a penalty to Leeds. This is the last movement of this match. Gibbons still keeps the movement going. Schofield, and Schofield's enveloped, and the game's over. Castleford win, and what a classic we have had. They are delighted. Tony Kemp is frustrated. Can't believe how this game has slipped by. But I'll tell him how, by the fact that Castleford rolled their sleeves up, gritted their teeth in that second half, and came up with the goods. Steve-O, you have to feel sorry for Leeds, but that was classic Castleford play.
It was wonderful football from Castleford. They came out in the second half with wonderful effort, pride, super stuff.
Jason Flowers, 2 tries second half. Jim Fallon shaking hands, and Lee Crooks will have enjoyed that moment, despite the fact he didn't kick as well as he has on previous occasions. A breathtaking, breathless match. Castleford the winners, and quite frankly, against all the odds. A brave effort. Jason Flowers, 2 tries second half, proving conclusive, and Castleford collect a famous victory.
To put one over on your old club in that sort of fashion.
Well, it's been a tremendous performance by all the 17 players tonight. We've been written off all week, saying that Leeds were just going to come here today and steamroller us. We've come out today, we've worked really hard for 80 minutes, and we've done a job on them.
But in fairness, when you look at the two teams on paper and you see how many players were absent from the Castleford side and how many stars there are in the Leeds side, there seems to be only one result.
Well, you can say that, but when it comes down at nitty-gritty, there's 17 players against 17, and it's the side that wants to win the most. Tonight it was Castleford.
And even though at the end Leeds were really hammering at your line, were you worried then?
Well, not suppose worried. We were just, you know, we had to consider his own line and get off his line and defend hard, and that's what we did, force mistakes.
What about the youngsters? All due respect.
Everybody's worked tremendously hard all week in training. Like I say, we've done a job tonight on Leeds, and that's all that matters.
Colin, thanks very much. Proud after that result.
Yeah, big effort from the lads, Bill. For sheer effort and commitment, I don't think we'll see no finer effort this year.
Did it surprise even you?
It didn't surprise me no about the effort and commitment the lads have put in. We've been saying all week that we can beat them, that I think Leeds come here thinking it probably were going to be a little bit easy. But, you know, all credit to them, and they deserve everything they get.
I think it's a bit more than effort and lung power, because in terms of handling errors, you were, I think there was only half a dozen or so, compared with about a dozen for Leeds, so you must be pleased on that score.
Yeah, we know his capabilities, and that's what we try to drill into each player here, that to know your capabilities and do what you do best, and that's exactly what we've done tonight. And ably led by Lee Crooks up front and all the forwards, and yeah,